What's up, YouTube? What's up, Raider Nation? It's 510 Raider. I meant to get this video out sooner, but hey, better late than never. And well, week 14 was just another Sunday where the Raiders go out, play hard, compete, keep it a close, winnable game going into the fourth quarter. But of course, they fall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to lose their ninth straight. Now, I don't know about all of you, but when the Bucks got off to a quick 14-0 lead in the first quarter, I personally wasn't panicking. I wasn't going like, "Oh man, this is really going to about to be a blowout." And the only reason why I didn't think it would is because in my mind, if you can hold Patrick Mahomes to 19 points in Kansas City, then you should be able to handle your own against Baker Mayfield. In that second and third quarter, it was fun to see the defense finally do their part. They got a few sacks. They actually forced a few turnovers. Got a strip sack fumble. Got a couple of interceptions. It was nice to see Jack Jones redeem himself a little bit. He got called for that PI holding call or whatever. And then shortly right after, he gets an interception in the end zone, preventing Tampa Bay from scoring some points. And it cracked me up how when they showed the Buccaneer fans, all you basically saw was a few people going like, really, bro? Really? And I started laughing. And at the same time, I was like, hey, despite our record, I understand to them we're the Raiders and they should beat us. But hey, don't ever overlook a team. I know it was a long time ago. I know it was a different regime and all that kind of stuff, but I'll never forget when they still had John Gruden as their head coach in 2008. All they had to do was win their last game of the season and they go to the playoffs. And they hosted the Raiders in the last game. They had a 10-point lead, and the Raiders came back and won and eliminated them. That should show them any given Sunday. Don't ever overlook a team. I like that Scott Turner was doing what he could to get the run game going. He even caught a fake jet sweep. And on that very play, running back Sincere McCormick had a nice 29-yard run. I'm actually happy to see Sincere McCormick take advantage of his opportunity because he's from the practice squad. Not many practice squad players get the opportunity to get the start. So kudos to him. He took advantage of the opportunity. He ran hard. It was actually fun to watch. And I hope he continues to run like that for the rest of the season. One thing I want to do is shout out to Aiden O'Connell. It's been a tough year for the players. It's been a tough year for us fans. But when we're talking about individual players, it's been an emotional roller coaster for Aiden O'Connell. He didn't get the starting job come week one. When his number was finally called to be the starter, he gets hurt in his first game. He comes off of IR and plays his ass off against Kansas City. And then in this game, he gets carted off with an injury. I felt for the guy. And it was refreshing news that, considering the way the injury looked, that it was the best case scenario and it was only a bruised bone. And I can appreciate and respect him for still trying to give it a go and play on Monday night. To me, that says a lot about his character as a person and a player. O'Connell getting injured, it almost made me want to forget the fact that he did not have a good game either. But it is what it is. It wasn't fun to see him go down with that injury. And even though it's only a bruised bone, I do hope he has a speedy recovery. I think the inconsistency that we're seeing with him right now, he played really well against the Chiefs, and then the very next week he doesn't have a good performance against the Bucks. It's almost telling me that he's a backup and he's not capable of being a consistent NFL starter. And that's okay. I wouldn't mind him even if he was the backup. Going into this past Sunday's game, when I was listening to all the Raiders insiders throughout the week, one thing that they mentioned was that the biggest weakness for the Buccaneers was that they were horrible at covering tight ends. It's been their biggest Achilles heel this season. When I heard that, I immediately thought Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. Feed 'em, feed 'em, feed 'em. These two boys should freaking eat. And that leads me into the biggest disappointment of this game. Why the hell did you not target Brock Bowers enough? I couldn't believe it. It was a big disappointment. The fact that all season long, our opponents have had their best cornerback. Cornerbacks, for the most part, usually cover wide receivers. They usually don't cover tight ends. But as the season has went on, all of our opponents have had their best cornerbacks covering Brock Bowers. Because damn, safeties and linebackers just ain't going to cut it. And even though they're having their best corners, Brock Bowers is still getting his. He's still getting open. He's still having a great year. He's still having a great individual season. Hell, he's not even having a great year. He's having a historical year. He's on pace to break the Raiders' record for the most receptions in a season. He already has the most receptions for a rookie tight end in NFL history. So I couldn't believe that we didn't feed Bowers or Michael Mayer the ball that much. It could have been a different outcome of a game. Who the hell knows? All I do know is that this upcoming game is Monday Night Football, a nationally televised game. Feed your best players. And just like in Kansas City, I just hope they go out there and play their ass off. The one thing that I hear from those that cover the Raiders every day, from the people that are in the locker room interviewing the players after the game, all they say is how hungry these players are to end this damn losing streak. They're just starving for a win. The mystery right now is who's going to be the starting quarterback. The way Aiden O'Connell is so far this week, I heard he was out there in practice, but they still didn't name him the starter. And if he doesn't start, it's going to be the guy that had to take his place in the Buccaneer game, Desmond Ridder. And how fitting. He'll be going up against a team that drafted him. So he'll have a chip on his shoulder. But what I've seen from Ridder, I'm just not too confident. I'm confident that Scott Turner will use him to his strengths. But I'm not confident that Ridder will be able to handle his own. The Falcons are also riding a 4-game losing streak too. It is a big game for them as well. The Falcons are in a division where they're not going to get to the playoffs by the wild card. They're going to have to win their division. And I just want to play spoiler at this point. The way this season's gone, for me, it started against the Bucs. It was basically evaluation time. I know they're going to go out there and play hard. I know they're going to go out there and compete. With all these injuries, with all these backups, with all these practice squad players getting the starts and getting the reps, who's going to be a part of the future? That's what these last 4 games are, pretty much. And that's what's helping me going into the remainder of the games with 0 expectations. So when we lose, I'm not pissed. I'm not upset. Just a bummer. 9 straight losses isn't fun. But hopefully these guys show up. I heard Kirk Cousins, the quarterback of the Falcons, has not thrown a touchdown in the last few games, but he's thrown 8 interceptions. And it's like every time we go into a game and we hear the opponent hasn't done this all season long, or they haven't done this in a number of games, I'm just like, great. Here come the Raiders. Here's your get-right game. I'm not trying to be the get-right game this Monday night. But we'll see what happens. And that's all I got for y'all this week. As always, I truly appreciate y'all tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope all of you have a great weekend.